Hi, welcome to Jiggy Math. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to add mixed numbers. Before we start adding mixed numbers, let's recall what mixed numbers are. This will help us understand better the concept in adding mixed numbers. A mixed number is a whole number with a proper fraction represented together. 4 and 2/3 is an example of a mixed number, with 4 as the whole number and 2/3 as the fractional part. So 4 and 2/3 means that we have 4 plus 2/3. And in the same manner, if we have 9 and 1/5 as our mixed number, it actually means 9 plus 1/5. A whole number and a fraction. So now, if we are going to add a whole number and a fraction like 5 and 2/4 plus 1/4, we have learned earlier that 5 and 2/4 look like this. Adding it by 1/4, our expressions will look like this. So now simplifying this all together, we have 5 here as a whole number, and the fractional parts are like fractions, meaning they have the same denominators. If they are like fractions, it's easy now for us to add these fractions. So adding the numerators 2 and 1, this will give us 3, and then we'll retain the denominator of 4. And now we'll have 5 plus 3/4, and we will get 5 and 3/4 in the end. So the final answer is this one. This time, let's try adding a mixed number by another mixed number. So there are easy steps on how to do this. First, add the whole numbers. 3 plus 5 is equal to 8. And then focus on the fractional parts. 3/5 plus 1/4. We know that these fractions are unlike fractions. They have different denominators. So we can only add this if they have the same denominators. So how do we do that? We have to rename them by looking for their common multiple. So the common multiple of 5 and 4 is 20. Now that we have found the least common multiple of the denominators, let's multiply our denominator 5 by 4 to get 20. And we'll do the same thing with the numerator. If we use 4 for the denominator, we'll also use 4 for the numerator. So 3 times 4 is equal to 12. Let's do the same step in the second fraction. 4 times blank equals 20. So here we know that we have to multiply this by 5. So we'll do the same thing for the numerator. 1 times 5 will give us 5. Now that we have renamed the fractions into similar fractions, we are ready to add. First, let's put the whole number. Add the numerators. 12 plus 5 is equal to 17, and then we retain the denominator. So the answer is 8 and 17 over 20. Let's try another example. 2 and 1/3 plus 4 and 1/4. Remember, we have to add the whole numbers first. So 2 plus 4 is equal to 6. Now, let's rewrite the fractional parts as like fractions. 3 and 4. What is their common multiple? 12. So 3 became 12 because we multiplied this by 4. And we are going to multiply also the numerator by 4. And this will give us 4. Now, for the second fractional part, 4 became 12 because we'll multiply this by 3. And let's do it Here, for the numerator, 1 times 3 is equal to 3. Now we are ready to add. So we put the whole number 6 here. 4 plus 3 is 7, and then retain the denominator 12. So the final answer is 6 and 7/12. Are you ready for the next example? Let's do this. Let's add the whole numbers. 5 and 1/4 plus 3 and 3/5. We have the whole numbers 5 and 3. So 5 plus 3 is equal to 8. Let's rewrite the fractional parts as fractions. 4 and 5, their common multiple is 20. So 4 times 5 is equal to 20. 1 times 5 is equal to 5. Let's do the second one. 5 times 4 is equal to 20. 3 times 4 is 12. Now that we have like fractions, we are ready to add them. So we have a whole number 8. 5 plus 12 is 17, and the denominator is 20. So the answer is 8 and 17/20. Let's move on. 2 and 4/7 and 7 and 1/4. Let's add them together. 2 plus 7 is equal to 9. Rename the fractional parts. What is the common multiple of 7 and 4? It's 28. So let's put 28 as the denominator. So 7 times 4 will give us 28. So we'll do the same thing here for the numerator. 4 times 4 is equal to 16. The second step, 4 times 7 will give us 28. So 1 times 7 will give us 7. Now that they are like fractions, let's add them. 9 here, and then the numerator, 16 plus 7 is 23. And let's retain the denominator, which is 28. So the answer is 9 and 23/28. More examples. Let's try adding 3 and 5/6 and 4 and 4/9. Let's add the whole numbers. 3 plus 4 is equal to 7. Let's rewrite the fractional parts as like fractions. 6 and 9. What is their common multiple? It's 18. So 6 became 18 because we multiplied this by 3. So let's do the same thing for the numerator. 5 times 3 is 15. 9 times 2 is 18. So we'll also multiply 4 times 2 will give us 8. Our fractional parts are already like fractions, so let's add them. We have a 7 here for the whole number. 15 plus 8 is equal to 23, and then we'll retain the denominator of 18. What do you notice about our answers? 7 and 23/18. Take note that the fractional part is an improper fraction, and we've learned in the past that we need to simplify this further. How do we simplify 23/18? Remember, we can do this by long division process. So if we are going to divide 23 by 18, this will give us a quotient of 1. 1 times 18 is 18, and we'll have a remainder of 5. So 23/18 is actually equal to 1 and a remainder of 5/18. Take note that we have a whole number here, so we have to add the whole numbers. This is the last step. 7 plus 1 is equal to 8, and then we'll use the fraction here, 5 over 18. So the answer is 8 and 5 over 18. One last example. Let's add 2 and 7 over 10 and 3 and 3/4. Focusing on the whole numbers, we can add 2 and 3 together, and this will give us 5. Now 10 and 4. Let's rewrite them as fractional parts as like fractions. 10 and 4, they have a common multiple of 20. So 10 times 2 is equal to 20. 7 times 2 is equal to 14. 4 times 5 is equal to 20. 3 times 5 is equal to 15. Now that they are already like fractions, let's add the numerators. 14 plus 15 is 29. We'll retain the denominator of 20, and let's put the whole number 5. Again, if you notice, the fractional part of our answer is an improper fraction. So this signals us that we have to rename our answer. So 29 over 20. Let's rename this in mixed numbers. Using the long division process, we find out how many 20s are there in 29. There's only one. So if we are going to subtract 29 minus 20, we'll have a leftover of 9. So 29 over 20 is the same as 1 and 9 over 20. So adding this to our whole number 5, we'll have 5 plus 1 is equal to 6, and then we'll retain the fractional part, 9 over 20. So the final answer is 6 and 9 over 20. Now this time, it's your turn to answer these exercises. Feel free to pause the video, answer it on your own, and then resume playing when you are ready to move to the next item. Happy answering! For more exercises, you may refer to Math Buddies 5 or My Pals Are Here Mathematics 5A by Marshall Cavendish Education. Thank you for joining me.